Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at weather for the next 8 to 10 days in today's video. It looks like we're going to be keeping a lot of anticyclonic influences going across the country, but we're probably going to change the orientation of that high pressure just a little bit and bring some cooler air down once we get through to next week. Anyway, I'll have a look at all the detail in a moment. Just want to talk about the advertising first of all. Where's video ads on pages at GazWeatherVids.com. Press play on the video ad to be supporting GazWeatherVids.com. Thanks very much for doing that. Also got some content ads, which are links to articles. If any of those articles are interesting to you, click through the link. You have to go to the website where the article is to read it. And at the same time, you'll be supporting GazWeatherVids.com. Thanks very much for doing that. These things do make a big difference to the website, help to pay the website. So thanks very much for getting involved and supporting Gav's Weather Vids. Now, I just want to apologise for what happened yesterday. If you tried to get onto the website but was blocked by a page coming up saying that the domain name had expired. Indeed, the domain name had expired yesterday. There was a fiasco with the registrar company, who we have to pay the money to once a year to secure the domain name. It's all sorted out now. So access is fully restored. There'll be no problems getting onto the website, and I say it's all sorted out for at least the next year with the domain name well and truly secure. But very sorry for what happened yesterday. Apologies and thanks for your patience and understanding. My eyes saw it again today, so the camera is once again turned off. Hoping to get that resolved very soon. But my phone is on, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So we'll start off with the GFS temperature and rainfall ensembles. Temperature ensembles first. Well, remember, red line is where we should be at this time of year. We're well above the red line in terms of the upper air temperatures at the moment. We're going to stay above for several days. So really out to the 15th, 16th, 17th. Despite the fact that we have this little dip down around the 16th, overall it's a pretty mild outlook for at least the next week. Now, as we get through towards, say, around the 17th, 18th, 19th, then we start to find the ensemble members beginning to dip down back towards the red line. So once we get through to around, say, the 20th, 21st, which is taking us to day 10, the ensemble mean, which is the white line here, which is the mean of all the members of the ensemble, is actually back towards the red line. But what you've got to keep in mind of this, there's a huge amount of scatter by the time we get through to day 8, 9 and 10. Some members of the ensemble are very warm, some are going really quite cold, so there's a lot of uncertainty, I think, as we get through to around the day 8 to 10 period. Huge amount of scatter there. The overall idea, I think, because the ensemble mean is telling us this, but temperatures are gradually going to decline, but they could stay warm or they could go really quite cold. It's a very uncertain outlook there. Beyond, say, a week away. Now, the rainfall spikes are showing that we're going to have lots of dry weather, because there aren't any rainfall spikes for the next week to 10 days. Then they very gradually come back as we go through to around the 20th, 21st, but it takes a long while to really see them come back with conviction, and that's around the 23rd of March, which is right at the extended range of the ensemble, and with so much scatter in the temperature ensembles, you can't have much confidence at that range anyway. So we can say, at least for the next week to 10 days, there's going to be lots of dry weather, with a probable decrease in the temperatures next week, but a lot of uncertainty as regards to that. We'll have a look at the general charts in a moment. Here's the temperature anomaly for the next week, taking us from the 11th to the 19th of March. Going to be a little bit above average for all parts of the country, perhaps not as much as you might have expected. Looking at that temperature ensemble, reason is that nights could be quite cold, long clear nights still. It's only March, so there could be some cold nights, which will overall affect the temperature anomaly. But generally, we're a bit above average anyway for the next week. The precipitation anomaly for the next week, 11th to the 19th, show that generally we're going to be below average with the rainfall in those red colours, well below average across much of England and Wales. That's just exactly where we need it, where we had all the rain through the winter, or the worst of the rain through the winter. That's a perfect sort of scenario for allowing that water to recede. So lots of dry weather coming up over the next week, and generally quite mild as well. So here's the general GFS chart, and we find the high pressure that have gone over us at the moment declined just a little bit down to the southwest, so slightly cooler, cloudier air comes around the top from the northwest on Saturday, the 15th of March. And then that high pressure sits just to the southwest, so much of England and Wales will stay dry on Sunday the 16th, but we bring quite a breeze in across Scotland and northern England that could bring some showery rain with it. That high pressure just sitting to the south and southwest of the country through into next week, Monday the 17th. Notice this very cold trough of low pressure piling into Scandinavia. That'll bring some very cold air and heavy snow to much of Scandinavia. And we're just on the very periphery of seeing that cold air filtering in. So that's why we've got some members of that temperature ensemble which are going really cold. Other members staying quite warm. Ones that stay quite warm keep high pressure just towards south and southwest, keep that cold air over Scandinavia. The other members will be bringing that cold air in towards us from the north and the northeast. It's very much on a knife edge, but I think generally we're going to keep the high pressure down to south and southwest. So as we go through to Tuesday the 18th, another low pressure to the north of Scotland again, trying to bring more unsettled and colder conditions in, but once again that high pressure sits just over into the southwest of the country, keeping the worst of the cold trough of low pressure over Scandinavia. So overall that high pressure just about keeps that cold air at bay. Now as we go through to day 10, which is 21st March, and lots of uncertainty by this point, remember, signs that the high pressure starts to break down and we start to bring low pressure back in off the Atlantic. Turns more generally unsettled, wet and windy, but not cold because we're still bringing air in from the west or the southwest. But there's a huge amount of uncertainty with that, and I really wouldn't want to ping too much credence on that. That's for GFS. Have a look at the ECMWF before I go. And again for the weekend, we've got high pressure just down to the southwest of the country, which means the north and the northeast will turn cooler and cloudier, but generally lots of dry weather going through the weekend. As we go into the start of next week, well again that very cold trough of low pressure is bringing the cold air into Scandinavia, but the high pressure down to southwest just holding it off, just keeping it mainly settled and quite mild and dry. As we go through to Tuesday the 18th and on into Wednesday the 19th, it all gets very messy. We've got high pressure down to the southwest, got low pressure trying to come in from the Atlantic, and we've got that very cold air over Scandinavia with that northerly wind producing lots of snow probably for them. Now what happens for us is I think it'll probably bring a weather system through across the country which may take some light and patchy rain, but generally the idea is still that high pressure dominating even out to day 10, Friday the 21st March. We've still got high pressure there across southern England going down into France and northern parts of Spain. Low pressure still to the north of Scotland. So overall I think it's going to, well, what we can say, we're definitely going to stay into high pressure this week, and then at the weekend the high pressure is going to slip a little bit to the southwest, turning slightly cooler and cloudier from the north and the northwest. Now as we go through to next week, a lot of uncertainty. We're on the periphery of the very cold plunge over Scandinavia. The Atlantic is trying to break the high pressure down, but I suspect what's going to happen is that we keep that cold air at bay over Scandinavia probably, and we'll probably just see a very slow breakdown of the high pressure and slowly turning a little bit more unsettled through next week. That would be my guess on what's going to happen next week, but as I say, lots of uncertainty with it. I'll be keeping an eye on it over the next few days, and obviously we'll be doing more updates anyway. It's a 5-day forecast though tomorrow, which will be taking us up to Monday. That's all for now. Thanks for watching the video. Bye for now.